Hello, my name is Tammy Coley, and I'm the Chief Transformation Officer at BlackLine. Welcome to BlackLine's Anonymous Accountant Process Transformation Series. We've been traveling all over the world meeting with accountants who are tired of manual, routine processes. Today's Anonymous Accountant is from New York, and we're going to share a process for unapplied cash suspense so that you too can transform your processes using BlackLine. Let's get to know the current process before transformation for unapplied cash suspense. So, the first thing that my anonymous accountant does is download the general ledger detail for the unapplied suspense account. So just to give you a little bit of a background of this account, when cash receipts come in that can't automatically be applied to a customer's account, they go into the unapplied cash suspense account. And then once we're able to identify the correct account so we can actually apply the AR, then it comes out. Then that transaction will come out of the unapplied suspense account. So my anonymous accountant at the end of every period has to figure out, match up everything that came in with everything that went out, figure out what's left, and then be able to send emails or other notifications. My anonymous accountant needs to have a way to notify people throughout the business that they need to do research and figure out what happened. Why didn't that cash get applied properly? So they'll have to do that research for us. So the first thing my anonymous accountant does is take the spreadsheet with the detail from the GL and sort by cash receipt number and try to identify all the ins and outs. So let's see, we go in here, let's color that one. And see, that one didn't, for some reason, it was only applied, but there was no cash receipt there, so something went wrong there. Let's find another. Here's another one that's a match. It's a match within a penny, so it's okay. I'm going to let that one go. Let's see. Oh, there's a good match right there. The cash came in, got applied to the AR. We're good. Let's see if I can find no, I thought that was a good one. It's not. Let me scroll on down. See if I can find a few more matches here. There's a good one. The cash came in, got applied to the AR, the cash came out, yay. Oh, there's another good one. So you guys get the message. Basically, what my anonymous accountant was having to do every month is to go in, and actually my anonymous accountant was doing this every day because they don't want to get behind. And so every day it was a matter of going in and figure out which cash came in that couldn't be applied. And basically we know that there can be some timing differences. So what we did was we kind of focused on those that had already been out there for at least a week before we started sending out notifications to people to get them to help us to research them. So that was the previous process. After going through all of this, then coming up with what are the ones that were left, manually searching and filtering for the ones that are left, and then sending emails out to the people who need to figure out what's going on and make the correct adjustments so that those items can clear out of the suspense account. So that's the previous process. That's the process that my anonymous accountant used to use before using BlackLine. So now I'm going to show you the same process and how we can transform this process using BlackLine. So this is the screen that our anonymous accountant will see when they first log on to BlackLine as preparer. Let's go here to the reconciliation. Let's start there. Here is the reconciliation for unapplied cash suspense. So you saw from the previous process that we had to spend so much time in Excel trying to figure out what came in and what went out and color coding and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's already been done for us, and we can see what was done by looking at the automatic matches. So this is what BlackLine has already done for us. Let's look at those exact matches where BlackLine has taken those cash receipts and matched them to the application of the cash. Let's look at this one. This is one of the ones where it's not an exact number of transactions on each side of the match. So this is a situation where BlackLine has grouped cash receipt ID CRUG 554101. There were 15 transactions on the cash receipt side and only 14 transactions on the applied to AR side but the total is exactly the same, and BlackLine was able to group those transactions together and make that match for us. So we didn't have to do all that fumbling around in Excel. Let's just take a look at another one. Here's one where, let's find a good one. Here's another good one right here. So in this case, we had 3 transactions on the cash receipt side and only 2 transactions on the application to the AR. But again, you can see that it is an exact match, $6,110.27 on both sides. And BlackLine was able to match those transactions again without all of the messing around in the Excel spreadsheet. So you get the picture on that. All the matching is done for me, and so when I get into my reconciliation, I see my matches are already done for me. I'm going to analyze my reconciliation because the other thing that's already been done for me is all those transactions that didn't match have been loaded to my reconciliation in buckets. So you can choose whatever bucket you want to for yours, but this anonymous accountant wanted their buckets to be monthly. And then for prior years, because the balances get to be really small, we decided to just keep those together in one period. So everything 2017 and prior is on this first line, and then January, February, March, April, all of the months of 2018, we have those in individual buckets so that our anonymous accountant can see what's going on. Is that bucket getting smaller? Are we resolving those transactions, or is it kind of staying the same? On the face of the reconciliation, we can look at the previous period and we can say, for example, okay, when you look at February 2018, let's look here, we see in August there were $28,319.28 worth of Suspense account transactions that were outstanding and unapplied cash. Well, look, we must have resolved something because in September, that number has gone down to $26,783.40. So that's just one example of how you can look at the transactions on the reconciliation. But all of your unapplied cash, if that is unmatched at the end of the period, has already been loaded to your reconciliation for you. That is not something that our preparer has to worry about. So what does our preparer need to worry about? Let's go into the unmatched transactions. This is where our preparer is trying to resolve these transactions. Our preparer needs to send emails or other notifications throughout the business to let people know that we need some help resolving these transactions. So let's just say, for example, all of the CRPP transactions on the cash receipt side, let's just send those to somebody to get them to take a look at them. So I'm just going to select these first 15 transactions here, and I'm going to send those to Sean and ask him to take a look at those exceptions and handle them for us. So I'm going to call these the CRPP, and these are the cash receipt side. So I'm calling them the CRPP cash receipts. That's going to be the that's going to be the name of my exception, and I'm going to say please resolve these. Okay, and I want to email the next person in the approval workflow. I'm going to assign these to Sean, and I'm going to give him, I don't know, I'll have him do today. And then I'm going to assign myself as the reviewer, and maybe I'll give myself a little bit more time. And there we go. And so I'm going to save this. And now when I go over to look, and when Sean also goes to look, he'll be able to see under exception handling that there is a case assigned to him. Now, the one that I just assigned is this one here. So what I've done is Sean can see the transactions that I've asked him to research. He has everything he needs to be able to go back and research these transactions. Sean can add comments, Sean can add documents, Sean can do everything he needs to do to be able to give me the information so that I feel comfortable that he has resolved those transactions. Once Sean resolves them, I'll be notified as the next approver in the email. But what I really want to make sure you understand is once Sean has resolved those transactions, let me get back to my reconciliation here. Once Sean has resolved those transactions, they're going to come back and automatically match. And so next month, when I go into the reconciliation, if Sean did what he was supposed to, those will already be over here with my automatic matches. So everything that I was having to do in that Excel spreadsheet in terms of the matching back and forth and color coding, that's all done for me in BlackLine. And then being able to email the people, or if I can either email them or I can set up a case for them in BlackLine. I can do it either way, but I can send people, even people who aren't in BlackLine, I can send them notifications to let them know that I need for them to resolve transactions. I also, as I said before, we can bucket the transactions any way you want to, but this particular anonymous accountant is very interested in monitoring the aging of those transactions, and so we bucketed them in terms of the month of the original date of the transaction. And voila, our reconciliation process is complete. Not only is the reconciliation complete, but we also have a process for handling those exceptions and notifying the people out in the business that they need to help us to resolve those exceptions. I also want to show you something else that's really cool. We have a report that we can run out of BlackLine if you'd like to be able to compare the 3 months. And so right now, there are 3 months in BlackLine for this particular account, and you would be able to see, remember when I showed you the February, it went from July to August, it didn't change at all. But in September, something from this February category must have gotten resolved, and that number has now gone down. So this is just one way to look at the reporting if you want to look at several months and not just 1 month over month. But also, what you can do with BlackLine is you can look at the detailed transactions. So there's reporting that you can run that'll give you all of the detailed transactions that remained unmatched at the end of the period. And then you can just do a very quick pivot and see how those transactions aged over time, if you'd rather look at your aging this way. Once you get all this information in BlackLine, there are so many different ways to get it out and get the reporting exactly the way you want it. That is our process transformation for Unapplied Cash Suspense, and it works very well for any type of suspense account. Thanks for watching today. Please be sure to check out additional episodes of BlackLine's Anonymous Accountant Process Transformation series.